up in the water again. But this time it's different. I keep trying to fix what happened. But no matter what I do,
you can't fix it. It doesn't let us change things. You did what you did.
前回のティザートレーラーから続く形でついにあのポケットテレビの持ち主が明らかになりました。このトレーラーはタウンフォールの本質、そしてサイレントヒルらしさをしっかりと捉えています。
And we can see from the trailer that debuted today that Townfall clearly embodies the DNA of the Silent Hill franchise. It also has quite a unique take, which we know has been really important to the team at Screenburn. And part of that uniqueness comes from their own identity, their perspectives, their history, and their style. So John, we'd love viewers to learn more about Screenburn and your team's history and the work you've done on Silent Hill Townfall.
Absolutely. Our main objectives were to make a game that could feel specific to the team who made it, to bring something new to the series in terms of setting, and to really think about what Silent Hill, both in concept and gameplay, could look like through a Screenburn lens.
Yeah, and it's this lens that appealed to us so much when we started working with you and Screenburn, many years ago. And we knew that with Annapurna's partnership with Konami helping to guide the project, that the three teams together could produce something original, exciting for the fans, and show Silent Hill in a way that hadn't been seen before.
皆様、情熱あるメッセージ本当にありがとうございます。サイレントヒルの伝統を受け継ぎつつも、新しいチームごとに世界観やテーマ、美学がどのように解釈されるかを示すことはとても重要です。ここでスクリーンバーンインタラクティブと本作を形作る人々の姿をご覧いただきましょう。
We've got our previous games that we worked on over the years. So Super Arclight was our first title that we released back in 2016. Stories Untold, 2017, Observation, 2019, and then Silent Hill soon. Our little collection of Silent Hill games, the thought that we're going to be slotted in at the end there, it is a genuine honour to work with the franchise and to contribute to it. After we shipped Observation, we were kind of like figuring out what we were going to do next. And then we got this call from Annapurna to ask us what we would do with Silent Hill. That froze us in our tracks. It's not an opportunity we ever thought we'd get, but it's one we knew we all wanted right away. We pulled together a pitch of what we felt would be a really cool, unique Screenburn take and brought it to Konami, and we were delighted that they loved the idea. It was like, this is exactly what we need. This is what we want to do, and we want you to go for it. And so to have their trust in us, both Annapurna and Konami, is a huge honour. So yeah, this is where Graham lives and where design lives.
My name's Graham McKellen. I'm the lead game designer. John is my brother, so we've known each other for a while. We have a lot of the same experiences, films that we watched when we grew up, games that we played. That allows us to work really well together when it comes to finding the synergy between narrative and game design. Very early, we agreed that we wanted to present this game in first person. And first person is, you have a more limited field of view. There's things happening off screen which you're not always aware of, and as we know in horror, what happens off screen is sometimes more scarier than what happens right in front of you. How we use the perspective to induce the horror, anxiety and fear, but then at the same time trying to find the balance to that, which is what can we give the player?
One of the first things we set out to do was like, what can we do with the radio that's not been done before? What can we do that kind of gives it a new function, a new aesthetic, but it feels Silent Hill, the analog tech that's kind of been my visual calling card. Most of the things we've done, like even in our previous games, has been as close to real life technology as we can get. This is a very small handheld TV, but kind of inspired the CRTV.
The CRTV is, our take on the classic radio. We knew we wanted to have the player bring it up and actually use it. So we were really keen on having the player tune with the CRTV, actually go through the frequencies, discover narrative content, but also being able to use it as a tool to see where enemies were. So yeah, we teach the peek mechanic, which gives the player a little bit extra mobility around where the camera can be. So you can peek up and to the sides to see around corners or over walls.
I keep doing this as I lean.
And it's really important for the first-person perspective, giving the player that extra control over the camera.
For a long time, this game we felt might just be Northern Europe, and not lock it down to Scotland. There was a drive to create something that felt authentic to us, and it kind of felt natural to kind of bring it home.
When John first showed me the game and I saw this sort of a very obviously Silent Hill, misty, foggy environment, that felt like a walk to school when I was growing up. Because, I've grown up in towns like this, in a small fishing town that's kind of similar to St. Amelia. It's a beautifully epic, grey, drizzly environment, and we're bringing that to the game.
It just feels so real, especially when you're going through it in first person. You kind of feel like you're there. It's so detailed, every single thing, and it's all connected to the story.
A very personal story, I know for John as well.
I would have been about 17 or 18 when the first game came out, and I was really ill, high fever, all this kind of stuff. I know I finished it, but the experience I have was like a fever dream, because it literally was. To this day, I've never played it again, because I kind of don't want to know whether what happened that night was real or not. Drawn to the fog ever since. And I think now that we're actually responsible for it and we're actually kind of pulling the rest of the team in, and now we're looking forward to bringing the fans into that fever dream too.
スクリーンバーンのチームの皆さん、ありがとうございました。自分たちの仕事だけでなく、サイレントヒルの歴史や意味に強い情熱を持つ開発者の姿を目にするのはとても刺激的ですね。各チームがそれぞれのビジョンをサイレントヒルに持ち込み、新しい体験をどのように形作ったのかがよくわかります。さて、公開されたばかりのトレーラーについて語るべきことがたくさんあります。最も注目すべきは本作が一人称視点である点でしょう。過去作にも一人称要素はあるものの、10時間を超える長編作品としてこの方式を採用したのはタウンフォールがシリーズ史上初めてです。この視点の変化によりプレイヤーはサイレントヒルの恐怖を新たなレンズを通して目撃することになります。恐怖がプレイヤーのすぐそばに迫るだけでなく、スクリーンバーンが考案した新しい戦闘、回避、謎解きのメカニクスとも見事に調和します。
Absolutely. Every feature of the game has been designed with this perspective in mind, but always making sure that while we see the world in this new way, the experience still feels distinctly Silent Hill. A big part of that experience is centered around enemies and how our protagonist Simon will encounter them. Familiar tools from the world of Silent Hill are all available, planks of wood, pipes, and ranged weapons like the pistol. But the ability to sneak, hide, and evade brings a new element of choice to the combat, where resorting to violence isn't the only option. In fact, with the aid of the pocket television, known as the CRTV in the game, evasion is every bit as useful a survival technique as facing enemies head-on. Players are encouraged to experiment and find a playstyle that suits them while being mindful of the resources and the opportunities that surround them.
わかりやすい例が覗き込みですよね。サイモンは物体や壁の上からあるいは周りから慎重に身を乗り出して敵の様子を確認でき発見される可能性を下げることができます。この要素は遭遇前の慎重さが生かされるだけでなく見た目手触りの面でとても映画的な表現になっています。
Indeed, that additional level of fine control provided to the player works especially well in first person, and it allows players to cautiously assess an encounter before they make a decision to evade or charge in. In first person, features like the peek or the CRTV become more immersive, rendering details up close in the character's hands and all in a tactile and physical way rather than using on-screen HUD elements. These features really shine in first person, and as the game progresses, players will be challenged in many different ways. Using the right technique at the right time is vital for Simon's survival.
ジョンさん、次は新主人公サイモン・オーデルに目を向けてみましょう。シリーズのキャラクターは皆心に重いものを抱えていますが、サイモンも例外ではありません。彼は多層的で不安定、そして非常に人間的です。トレーラー冒頭で主人公であるサイモンが今回舞台となる町セントアメリアに縁があることが示唆され、彼の困難な旅が始まります。ジョンさん、彼が島へ向かう事情、そしてプレイヤーが踏み入れる物語について視聴者の皆様に特別に教えてもらえますか？
Well, I knew when beginning to write the game that fans would have certain expectations about the worlds, characters, and the themes that permeate the series. I wanted to both lean into those expectations in some ways and subvert them in others. Guilt is a strong theme throughout Silent Hill's many stories, and I wanted to dive deeper into the various different ways that guilt can manifest, where it comes from, what it can do to people, and how, if you can, come to accept or resolve it. So while those narrative themes are distinctly Silent Hill, we're looking at and interpreting those themes in a very different way.
ゲームの冒頭、サイモンは物事を終わらせてほしい、それが正しいことだと告げる謎の電話を受け取ります。トレーラーで見た通り、彼は島に到着しますが、この段階ではどうやって来たのか不明であり、サイモン自身も向かう先が分かっていないように見えます。
Well, a core component of our team's narrative style that has been present in all of our previous games is mystery. Simon's journey through the town is layered with nuance and questions where players will gradually uncover both small details and big reveals, and they'll be kept guessing throughout. There are other characters to meet along the way too, and understanding Simon's connection to them is key to the narrative. Some mysteries will pay off as the game progresses, and some will deepen further, inviting players to dive deep into the world and the details spread around the town.
サイモンの旅がどのようなものになるのか楽しみにしていただければと思います。さて次はタウンフォールの舞台となる町セントアメリアについてご紹介しましょう。サイレントヒルのキャラクターを町と切り離すことはできません。世界は彼らを映し出し、試し、変えていきます。サイモンの旅を理解するには彼が身を置く町を理解する必要があります。それではセントアメリアのインスピレーションとなったスコットランドの実際の場所を見てみましょう。
So we're going to go to the east coast of Scotland. We've referenced a lot in the game. Graham and I have been many times over the years. We took Paul up when he joined the team. And I think this is Linda's first time.
It is, yeah.
So you're going to get a bit of a shock when you're in St. Amelia.
As a QA lead, I think I have played probably 3,000 hours of this game, but I've actually never explored those real towns, so I'm excited to see it.
It's the smell and the wind and the
the sound of the place, all of that together is what you're trying to recreate. You're not just trying to recreate the visuals, you're trying to recreate the vibe. And there's no better way of doing it than spending time there.
It's really important to not live your life behind a lens and just absorb the place when you're there. So I suppose it's always important for artists to get out and see the place that they're supposed to be making.
Graham and I were chasing fog while I dragged Graham out with me. I was like, I need someone in front of the camera when I take these images. Fog was so dense that when we came out here, we got to like this spot, and from here we couldn't see the coast anymore, and we couldn't tell which direction the coast was in, and we immediately felt like in danger. And we ended up with this shot here. The atmosphere is like blue and light, the sun was going down. Everything from that moment was when we kind of realized how this game was going to begin. We have this fog that rolls in on the east coast of Scotland called a har. I got pretty obsessed chasing the har. I wasn't painting images, I wasn't like trying to like imagine what the fog would look like. I could go to a town that looks like St. Amelia and find a fog that looks like Silent Hill and come back and show the team, here's what the game needs to look like. And I would drag other people on my trips with me and be like, you gotta come too. And they're like, really? It's 4 a.m. So that when we come back to the studio, we can try and recreate what we felt, not just what we saw. This was like the first beautiful corner that we did. And then as we get around this corner, yeah, it's literally the same.
It is actually, yeah. This is so cool.
Yep.
I hope we have that in the game, the seaweed.
This was the first pier I think we came to. And we walked along a bunch of other piers as well, just to kind of see the differences and, yeah, the kind of shapes that they make and how they're used, that kind of thing, So this is it. This is very similar to our St. Amelia pier.
So we're in St. Monans. This is the harbour town and was the first place that we built for the game. When I started to write the story about what this town was, what happened to this town, the isolation was a big factor. There's like an existential dread that comes with that. Silent Hill has always had a sense of like not being able to leave the town and face why you're there. That isolation isn't just for the protagonist, but also for the town. It's like they've got to do what they've got to do. You just have to get on with it and you have to solve the problem. There's no running away.
It's surreal. I think it's because a lot of stuff are so similar to in-game, even like the slanted walls, the colors. Wherever the benches are placed is exactly the same as in-game.
These alleyways kind of snake through the entire town. They're really fun to walk up and down in real life, but when you've got a monster chasing you, it's just not a nice place to be.
Coming up there, this is one of the slopes that when I first came here, I was like looking at all the textures. And luckily Unreal allows us with Nanite to just sort of layer on loads of meshes and textures on top of each other. I don't know what this is. Bits of like rag and tarpaulin, like the glove, for instance, there. It's just like layers upon layers upon layers of life and history. You're mimicking several hundred years worth of life. That's what we aim to do. And a lot of the time, the player will just sort of walk around and absorb it, and they won't know why it feels like a real place, but the effort that we've put in will make them feel like it's a real place, and it will give them that sense of history, and yeah.
It's a big moment for us, definitely. For me personally, for the team, we're all big fans. I think that's an understatement to say big fans. We're obsessed. To be trusted with a franchise like this, it's an honor, and we want to make sure we ace it. So we're giving it our all to create something that's really new and really unique.
センターメディアのインスピレーションや再現方法について貴重なお話をありがとうございました。細部へのこだわりが新しい世界観をリアルに感じさせています。こうした丁寧な作り込みはシリーズならではの大切な魅力です。最後にタウンホールの規模や構成についてお話ししましょう。
For sure. And while Annapurna has been primarily known over the last decade for independent games from smaller teams, Townfall is no small game. In fact, it's among some of the biggest games that we've ever published.
And while Screenburn is a relatively small development studio at about 30 people, they have been afforded the development time to really realise their creative vision for Townfall. And as a result, Townfall is a full-length, high-quality game that we can all present with confidence following Silent Hill F and Silent Hill 2.
スクリーンバーン、アナプルナ、コナミの3社が手を組み作り上げたサイレントヒルのエッセンスをしっかり取り入れたタイトルとなっています。今年皆さんにサイレントヒルタウンフォールを実際にプレイしてもらえることを非常に楽しみにしています。本日のサイレントヒルトランスミッションはこちらで終了となります。最後に視聴者の皆さんへ向けて一言ずつメッセージをお願いします。
We're so thankful for your patience, and we can't wait to show you more of what we have in store for you in Townfall. We see this project not only as our biggest and most ambitious game yet, but as a love letter to the series that inspired many of the team, myself included, to become game developers in the first place. It's truly an honour to be given this opportunity to contribute to the series, and on behalf of the team at Screenburn, thank you for your support and your encouragement over the years.
We've loved working with the entire team at Screenburn and are very proud of the game they've created. Our goal at Annapurna is to support our developers so they can focus on making the best possible game. It's been amazing to see Townfall come to life throughout development. Thank you to Screenburn for their partnership, and thank you to Konami for trusting us with the Silent Hill franchise.
Silent Hill Townfall is a labor of love for everybody involved and a true collaboration across the three teams. From the amazing team in Scotland at Screenburn to the revered publisher Konami, not only in Japan but around the world, and ourselves, who are very humbled by the opportunity at Annapurna to co-publish a game for the first time with an existing franchise and bring our unique take to this historic franchise.
スクリーンバーン、アナプルナ、コナミの3社で長い時間をかけて作り上げてきた作品を発表することができて本当に良かったです。本日お見せした通り非常に丁寧に作り上げていますので皆様ぜひ楽しみにお待ちください。本日お届けしたサイレントヒルタウンホールはプレイステーション5と Steam、エピックゲームズにてウィッシュリスト登録受付中です。ぜひ登録をお願いいたします。またサイレントヒルトランスミッションでは今後も継続してサイレントヒルシリーズの情報を皆さんにお届けしてまいります。次回もどうぞお楽しみに。本日はご視聴いただき誠にありがとうございました。